The Houthis announce it. The party has started.
Revenge and
Ask
Trump sense.
squadrons of American planes. The ship
Galaxy Channel is burning.
was the U.S. Department of Defense is setting up a plan for ground intervention in Yemen, while Tel Aviv is considering the right timing for an attack on Yemen, and the United States is pushing for mediation. 3 Gulf countries are participating with the United States in its attack on Yemen and Washington.
It moves to
All
the end.
options are on the table for dealing with the Houthis, and we warn Iran against interference. Iran responds, Washington has no right to interfere in Iranian politics. The American Secretary of Defense said, we will continue our operations against Yemen relentlessly until the most important waterways are liberated from the hands of the Houthis, said Benton.
That's how it
the
is.
campaign against Yemen will continue until the Houthis pledge to stop targeting international ships in the Red Sea. Clashes on the Yemeni-Saudi border begin. Saudi Arabia announces the fall of 30 soldiers. The Syrian-Lebanese border is also igniting, and a political earthquake. Netanyahu, the visitors came to Tel Aviv, and the situation is getting out of control. Beginning. You are the ones who started the war, or the initiator is the most unjust. This was declared by the leader of the Ansar Allah Houthi movement, Abdul Malik al-Houthi, after the Houthis targeted the American aircraft carrier Harry Truman and its warships in the northern Red Sea. They did not stop. Using 18 cruise missiles and a squadron of drones, this is according to the statement released by the military spokesperson for the Houthis, Yahya Saraya. An American defense official revealed that the U.S. military shot down approximately 12 drones that attacked the carrier. In a notable development, the United States carried out 2 airstrikes last night on the commercial ship Klaxi, while it was docked at Ras Isa port in the Hasaka Governorate. Local sources reported that the airstrike caused the ship to catch fire and inflicted severe damage on it amidst fears of a humanitarian disaster. Environmental due to the leakage of its contents. Meanwhile, military expert Al-Aqid Hatem Al-Falahi suggested that the American strike against the Houthi movement is likely a prelude to a ground operation aimed at reducing the influence of the Houthis in Yemen. In the context of the military escalation in Yemen, the Hebrew magazine IPAC revealed that Tel Aviv received prior updates regarding the American attack on the Houthi movement. Additionally, Channel 12 Hebrew reported that Tel Aviv is considering the appropriate timing to participate in military operations against the Houthis. While American strikes currently cover a significant part of the target bank. For its part, the 14th Hebrew channel confirmed that the defense institutions are preparing for the possibility of a Houthi attack on Tel Aviv, by air and sea, indicating that preparations are underway, as if the distance between the two parties were only 2 kilometers, not 2,000 kilometers. On the other hand, the United States pushed through Russian mediation to try to contain the crisis, as Russia presented a new proposal that includes stopping the American aggression against Yemen and the settlement of reaching a political agreement that includes all parties. In this context, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov confirmed during a phone call with his American counterpart Marco Rubio that the solution in Yemen requires the cessation of military attacks and resorting to diplomatic dialogue. In relation to the Gulf role in the U.S. airstrikes on Yemen, informed sources revealed that 3 Gulf countries participated in the intensive air bombing conducted by the United States on Yemen. In this context, sources reported that Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Qatar participated in the air raids, where air navigation data showed the tracking of a British refueling aircraft of the KC-2 model near Jeddah while refueling the fighter jet in the air. On the other hand, sources confirmed the return of an American reconnaissance aircraft, model RC-135, in rivet joint, in addition to a refueling aircraft of model KC-135R to Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, following the airstrikes on Yemeni territory. Additionally, the information indicated that a long-range American drone of the MQ-4C Triton model took off near the Dhafra Air Base in the Emirates heading towards Yemen after its transmission devices were disabled. This was reported by Reuters in a step that may indicate reconnaissance operations or preparation for attacks. A United Kingdom aircraft of the Voyager KC-2 model with the number ZZ343RR was observed 6699 while heading south over the Red Sea after taking off from Akrotiri base. In Washington, U.S. National Security Advisor Michael Waltz stated to the American network ABC News that all options are on the table to respond to the Houthis and Iran, holding the latter responsible for supporting them with weapons and intelligence information. He added that the Houthis possess advanced air defenses and cruise missiles, ships, along with offensive drones and ballistic missiles, which makes their threat to global trade and the American Navy a serious matter. For his part, U.S. Secretary of Defense Peter Hegseth emphasized that his country will continue its military operations relentlessly until the Houthis stop targeting international navigation. Hegseth also confirmed that Washington is not as concerned with the internal conflict in Yemen as it is with protecting maritime navigation routes like the Red Sea, the Arabian Sea, and the Bab al-Mandab Strait. Warned Iran against interfering in the American military campaign against the Houthis in any way. This is as stated by the former U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff in an interview with CNN, directing a threat to the Palestinian movement to observe what is happening to the Houthis at the hands of the United States and its allies, as an indication of what the movement might face in the future if it insists on its intransigence in negotiations. For his part, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio confirmed in a statement to CBS that the recent U.S. strikes in Yemen aim to paralyze the capabilities of the Houthi movement to target global and American maritime navigation, emphasizing the continuation of operations until this goal. In regional reactions, Iranian Foreign Minister Sayed Abbas Araghchi commented on the American strike against the Houthis and Washington's threats to Tehran, asserting that the United States has had no right to interfere in Iran's policy since the year 1999. This sal, Osama Sayyid Takpatatis. Araghchi added in a post on platform X that Biden paid $23 billion to a regime accused serious violations, holding Washington responsible for the killing of more than 60,000 Palestinians, and concluded by saying stop supporting Hebrew violations. The killing of the Yemeni people, according to his statement. Meanwhile, the Grand Mufti of the Sultanate of Oman, Sheikh Ahmed Al-Khalili, condemned the American aggression on Yemen and on the sector, considering that these attacks will only increase the people's resilience and steadfastness. As for international reactions, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres called for maximum restraint and the cessation of all military activities in Yemen, warning that any further escalation could lead to a worsening of regional tension and an escalation of retaliatory actions. The Pentagon clarified that the American military campaign will continue until the Houthis commit to responding to requests, by stopping the targeting of international ships, emphasizing that Washington will not tolerate any threat to its interests in the region. In another context, Saudi media announced the killing of the Saudi soldier Abdullah Tahir Abkar Qais as a result of being targeted by a Yemeni sniper on the Saudi-Yemeni border. Yesterday, it also announced the killing of 2 soldiers, bringing the total to 3 in less than 48 hours. And from the situation in Yemen to the latest developments on the Palestinian scene, where former American envoy Steve Witkoff said in an interview with CNN that the response received by the United States from the Palestinian movement regarding the extension of the ceasefire in the sector is completely unacceptable. This, and Witkoff also clarified that the American proposal includes the release of a large number of Palestinian detainees, which he described as something that would be wonderful for their families. It includes the release of 5 living detainees held by the Palestinian movement, among them an American citizen. Witkoff pointed out that there is an opportunity available to the Palestinian movement, but it is quickly fading, urging the movement to be more rational in dealing with the American proposal. From the conditions in the sector to the Lebanese-Syrian front, which has recently ignited, where Syrian defense forces accused Lebanese factions of kidnapping and neutralizing 3 Syrian army personnel near the border with Lebanon. The Syrian news agency Sana quoted the ministry's media office as saying that a group affiliated with the Lebanese factions ambushed 3 Syrian soldiers near the Zaita Dam west of Hama and took them onto Lebanese territory. For its part, the Lebanese National News Agency reported that the Lebanese army handed over through the Red Cross the bodies of 3 Syrian fighters at the Al-Jusiaqua border point. On the other hand, the Lebanese factions denied any connection to the incident, confirming in a statement issued by the media relations that they have no link to any events inside Syrian territory. In a call, the National News Agency mentioned that several